Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's another episode, another edition of the Monday Man Cave here, MCXP Radio for the BGSC Network. It is the Spence and Crawford Sound Off analysis, reactions, questions, and answers. I can't wait. Let's get into it, man, because I want everybody to join in. I should have some guests coming in. Let's talk about this. Y'all know how we do it. Let's get it started.
Swagger pimp, yeah. Can't now another nigga like me. Yeah. Okay, it goes 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, rockin'. It's time for hip hop. On they reach watch, no sir, not for show. No bars made up of fairy tales. I'm trying for a tragedy, I know it well. So put your hands up in the air just for the winners. A peace sign of pimps, the prostitutes, the sinners. We all deserve a second chance, but we products of illusion and victims of our own circumstance. Apply the pressure, I bet you can. Live the life that you love, shout out to Rand. Love the life that you live, shout out again. It ain't a tough pill to swallow once you comprehend.
Hey y'all, man. So welcome to the MCXP Radio podcast, man. I'm your host, the musicologist A Reed. As you can see right there, you can follow me at MCXP underscore radio. You can follow the station, of course, myself. Follow me, A Reed TV on the Twitter, which is now X. All that good stuff, man. Look, the fight of probably the year. The fight of the year just happened last Saturday. I was very hyped. If you had seen some of my shorts, TikTok, all of that stuff, man, I really had it up there. Spicing up the fight. I wanted everybody to get a chance to see and witness history, and we did that, man. So I thought it was just gonna be good, man, because everybody had their analysis, everybody had their picks of who was gonna win this fight. I was Team Spence. Obviously, Spence didn't win, but we're gonna talk about this, man. I want to break it down. I want to have a good time with this, man. If you guys are in the mix, if you're watching, please leave your comments. Let's talk about it. All your questions, man. I want to sit there and I want to answer as many questions, as many comments as I possibly can. I'm gonna put your comments up on the board so everybody can watch. Please, please, and make sure you guys continue to like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Hit the bell. Y'all know what it is, man. I appreciate everybody that has been a subscriber, everybody that has been tuning in. You guys make this fun. Okay. So first and foremost, I have to say, first, I want to say thank you, not only to Earl Spence Jr., but also to Terrence Bud Crawford. And I want to say thank you because what these two guys did Saturday was something that boxing fans in general, um, what this is what they wanted. This is what they had been asking for, and they came out. And I don't give a damn what you say. Both of them put a performance out. Now this fight did end up lasting 9 rounds with a TKO. Crawford did end up putting Spence down 3 times within the fight. I think the first one was on it. Actually, first time was in the second round. But you have to give kudos to both of these guys. Both of them are champions in their own right. Crawford is now considered the best, probably the best pound for pound boxer um, in sports right now. Um, but you have to give kudos to both of these guys. Again, both of these guys are champions. And I'm just gonna say it today for this show. I don't want to necessarily hear no slander. I don't want to hear nothing bad concerning none of these guys because I'm telling you right now, what Terrence Crawford did, what Earl Spence did, could none of us do. None of us could be out there to go out there and not only just train and whatnot, but show up and show out on the biggest stage, probably the biggest stage of their fights of their life. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give credit to these guys, most deaf. I ain't gonna accept no slander. I'm giving it to Spence. I'm giving it to Crawford. You guys are both champions in all regards, all simple regards. Now let's take a look at some of these pictures. Here's some of the pictures from the fight, as you can see right here. You see in the background is round 5. Crawford getting it, hell, giving Spence that 2-piece. Um, Crawford was really working that jab. Did a lot of stuff, man. He really took the jab out of Spence's arsenal. I don't know who all watched the fight, but I know I sat there and watched the fight. Um, who did I think Spence came out with Big X from Texas. Crawford came out with Eminem, which was actually quite cool. And I believe they came out to the 8 Mile joint. You know, you lose yourself in the music. The moment you bone it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot. You know what I'm saying? So Crawford was saying before the fight, that he was gonna have the big fish. He was gonna wrangle up the big fish. Spence is known as the big fish, but Crawford did go out there and do it. Not to negate anything that Spence did, but I just feel that at the end of the day, Spence didn't have another game plan to recover from what Crawford had already done. Spence is, and I'll get more into, both their kind of styles of fighting here later on within the show, within the program. But one hell of a fight. One hell of a fight. Both of these guys went out there and they did what they were supposed to do. Here's another picture, as you can see, you know, Spence was getting battered, man, torn and battered, But I'm telling you, the will to fight, the will to win, never eliminated, always kept coming back for more. And Crawford kept doing what he did. Amazingly enough, by the end of the fight, it's like you saw the damage on Spence, but you didn't see the same kind of damage on Crawford. You didn't see it. You just didn't see it, which was, it was kind of tough to see that. Very, very kind of tough to see that. As you see right there, Terence Crawford does have all the belts, did become the undisputed welterweight champion of the world. So shout out to him. Again, one hell of a performance. Somebody had to win. Somebody had to take their first L, but it is what it is. That's just the nature of boxing. That is the nature of the business and the nature of the game. All right. With that being said, man, I've got, of course, the great, almighty Big Game James. He's came in to help me and join this show here in the Man Cave. So let's give it up for my man, Big Game James. What's up, Big Game? How you doing, bro?
What's up, man? How's everything going?
Good, man. Good to see you. I know you was out and about, man. Had a good time with the wifeys and stuff, man. So
Yes,
good to see
sir.
you
Yes,
back, man.
sir.
It's always good to see you back, bro. Always good to
Appreciate
see
it.
you back, man.
Appreciate it.
No doubt. Big Game, man. Did you watch the fight?
I did. I did. And I always tell everybody, Reed, I am a boxing fan. I'm not a boxing fanatic. I grew up amongst the days where, my grandfather used to watch Sugar Ray and Hagler and Hearns when, boxing came on ABC back in the day. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have to pay
Real
for
talk.
it.
Real
Came on
talk.
regular TV and everything else. So having a chance and opportunity for this fight, I couldn't wait to see it. I'm a big Bud Crawford fan, hearing the story of him and getting shot and after the dice game and being able to bounce back and have the life that he's had. And then also the almost kind of the hometown hero, Errol Spence, you know what I'm saying, living here in the DFW now. It's the feel good story you want to cheer for. So it's like I couldn't wait for this fight to finally happen. But I must say, I am very surprised it was as lopsided as it was.
Okay. Yeah. I think a lot of people are. I think a lot of people are. Honestly, I think a lot of people felt like that this fight was actually going to be more close. Very,
Yes.
very much close. I was actually saying that it would maybe end up going 10. I was kind of hoping for 12. I wanted to see them go the whole way, but I wanted to see a very, very close fight. On that note, I am surprised that it went the way that it did. But when you look at it, when you look at the actual fight, if you sitting there watching it,
Yeah.
it does make sense. It
Oh,
makes sense.
it makes big sense.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
it can't. It's funny because a lot of people have come out and asked the question. They say a lot of people say Errol Spence had been tested or hit or like he did by Crawford. And Crawford 37-0 going in with 30 knockouts, and his last 10 fights have been stopped early. His
Right.
last 10. So anyone, like I said, who's a boxer, boxing, watch it. You know that, Bud Crawford has the power. He has the ability to punch, hit, and stop fights, and one punch can change a fight. But going all the way back to the beginning, Errol Spence didn't look ready, and then you could tell he could not make the adjustments to how Crawford pressured him. Right-handed but fought southpaw, and he does this for 70% of his fights. Man, it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's funny because a lot of people were saying that Spence wasn't ready. I don't know how you cannot be ready, so to speak, for a bout of that magnitude.
Well, it's
Um,
the look for me, Reed. Like if you look at his face when he came press conference, I was like, damn, Errol. I mean, he saw me at the press conference. Everything leading up to the fight, it was, okay. Don't hate me, DFW. When Big X brought that motherfucker to the ring, I knew he was in trouble.
hey, man, for real, for real, for real, bro,
The
for
fight,
real,
the entrance wasn't even right. I was like, oh shit, this ain't gonna be good, dog. What is
for
going on?
real, for real,
So,
for
but
real.
yeah, that's what got me when I say it looked like he wasn't ready. His face, his demeanor, that energy, it just. And I know he's not no super raw guy. It's different, but he was just missing something from the Errol Spence fights I've seen in the past.
Wow, makes sense. Does make sense. Bud came out with Eminem.
Eminem.
And I think what I was mad about that is that Eminem didn't even spit. He didn't even spit on the mic. He just introduced him, just let the
Yeah, he just
song play.
introduced him and let
I
the
was,
song go.
you
I
know,
thought he was going, yeah.
I thought
I
he was
feel you.
gonna get on the mic and spit a little bit. You know what I'm
Now,
saying?
Reed, let me ask you this. How did you feel about the fisherman net?
I thought that was wonderful.
At first I was like, what the hell does he have on? Then when they talked about the significance of what it means, this is the big one. Don't let it get away from you. I was like, that's some cold shit
I
right
thought
there, dog.
that was a very that I thought that was clever. I really thought
Yeah.
that was clever
Yeah, that
because
was
the whole
awesome right
time he
there.
had been saying that he's gonna catch the big fish and
Mm-hmm.
this and that and the third, and he brings out a net. That's a fisherman's net. Fishermen go out there to catch
Fisherman,
the
and
fish.
they had it, and he had a
You
custom
know,
made to fit around the robe, the whole nine, like he
had
did.
it around the robe, all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
But
it's like Crawford came in with a game plan to do what he said that he was gonna do.
yeah, yeah, and he did not
Yeah,
disappoint at all. I know a lot of people around here are upset, and rightfully so. But honestly, I think going in, you had to know, understand, and realize that Bud Crawford was no pushover.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't know if anyone thought that. I thought Spence had a chance, but I still thought Crawford would win. Like I said, I just didn't think it would be as lopsided as it was, and I think that's what took me for, a loop that caught me off guard.
Yeah, yeah. I got a few observations that I made through this fight.
Okay.
So I'm bounce these off of you. Let's talk about it a little bit. And again, people, I thank y'all for joining. If you got any comments, please place the comments there, man. We're gonna talk about it and everything like that. All right, so these are a few of my observations that I had for this fight. Number one, timing negates speed.
Mm.
Okay, timing will negate the speed, but it seemed like Spence's timing was very off.
Boy, big time.
Very, very
Now,
off.
is that also because Crawford is a decent counter puncher, smart enough to scope out his opponent, know what's coming, and make it look like he slowed him down a lot? Because man,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I only remember like 2 clean shots on Terrence Crawford all night. The rest
It
of it was
wasn't a lot.
a forearm and a glove, a wrist or elbow. I mean, his guard was amazing.
It wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot of it, bro. I mean, like dead serious. I watched every single moment of that fight. It was not a lot of punches that Spence got over there on Crawford. You
And
got to give
and
it up to Crawford's the defense, um, his footwork,
boy,
everything,
everything.
everything, everything. You know what
Now,
I'm saying?
Reed, did you think that Spence would utilize the jab a little bit more, or am I jumping ahead of myself?
It's funny you say that. Um, it's not that Spence didn't use the jab a lot more. I think Spence's game plan was to have the jab in that fight. Spence is known to use that jab to set up everything else. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? He walks his opponent down. Um, he does everything that he needs to do. He utilizes that jab, boom, boom, to set up, all his other power punches. And don't forget, Spence is a southpaw. He's a left-handed guy, you know.
Right. Right.
But I think what it was is that Crawford took that away.
Yeah, he did. Okay, I got
He
you. He did. He
completely
crowded it.
took
Yeah.
away the jab.
Yes, he
Completely
did.
took it away. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
every time that Spence tried to go in without the jab, he was always getting countered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always getting countered. Which brings me to that next observation. I'm glad you said that. Crawford's speed and accuracy is unmatched. And when I
Boy.
say this, understand. Even Spence said it after the fight. He said, "Man, I was getting hit in between punches." In between punches. See, understand how fast that is.
That
And I've
is,
heard
yeah.
other boxers say that. I've heard other boxers say that about Crawford. But for you to be throwing a punch, and while you're throwing the punch, you hadn't even landed the punch.
And you're getting
You,
hit.
you know, you ain't even had the full extension of the punch, but you're getting hit in between those punches.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what could he do? What could he do, man?
Nothing.
Nothing, you know? So
Man.
I will say for sure that this fight definitely, and I had always been a fan of I've been a fan of both of them. What's up,
Right.
95, man? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. 95,
Alberto, what is happening, baby?
what's
Welcome.
good, bro?
Welcome.
I will say this, man. I haven't always, and I'll be honest, man. I've always respected Crawford as a fighter. I can't say that he was always like my top fave.
I got
But
you.
he was very, 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 very well respected in my book. But
Got you. Okay.
that fight,
That changed your mind?
that shit made me a believer. That shit made me, and I was always a believer. And I'll say this: I wasn't necessarily a believer because I was looking at both of their track records. When I say track records, I was looking at all the people that Spence had fought.
So you
And I
looked at
was
the body
looking
of work.
I was looking at the body work, and I was looking at the
Okay.
people that Crawford fought. And
Yeah.
it just seemed like the guys that Spence fought carried a little bit more weight than what the guys that Crawford fought. But then I'm looking at this fight, and I'm just like, God damn,
Yeah.
you
And I
know?
think, and even Bud Crawford said that it's for so long throughout his career, he's been getting doubted,
Yeah,
and he fought whoever they put in front of him, and he's taking them all down. That's the one thing I've always liked about Terrence Crawford. He hadn't backed away from anything. And a lot of people said that he was ducking and running from Errol Spence and didn't want to take the fight. Now everybody who said that didn't say that shit at all after this fight took place.
facts, facts.
None of them said that. Everybody that said Terrence Crawford was ducking Errol Spence, none of them said after this fight. So it goes to show he wasn't running from nothing. He wanted the money to be right and the situation to be right.
Right.
And he moved up to welterweight to make it happen.
Yeah.
Along
All
the
of these,
man.
look,
Boy.
all of these people that's coming out of the woodworks of after the fact, the non-real boxing fans, the people that just want to, give their 2 cents after the fact of boxing. Y'all need to shut the fuck
Right.
up.
Yeah, that's true too.
Like seriously, like shut up, man. Give respect where respect is due. Wellness check for Spence, bro, was fighting like he took the fight on 1 week's notice. I'm not necessarily saying that. Oh man, look.
It looked rough, man. It
did
looked
look
like
rough.
he did step in to fill in for somebody, and it like, oh man, it totally caught me off guard. But I'm not gonna take anything from Errol Spence except for I still think experience, because Crawford does still have him and experience and what he's been able to do to get to where he is, to polish up those skills and be able to come in and pick his opponent apart. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that Spence can't do that, but Reed, I'm not trying to be funny. I said this when I saw that car wreck in the Ferrari. I said, man, is he ever really gonna be right again to go get in the ring and fight somebody?
A lot of people said that, bro.
And I am questioning right now, like, does that have, because his face was red and swole up like no other. And I was like,
A lot of people saying that, bro. I even heard Roy Jones. I saw Roy Jones on a YouTube video talking about the fight, and even he said that, man, that you can't necessarily getting thrown from a car like that, being in a car accident like that. You can't necessarily be the same guy. You just
Right.
can't be the same
Right.
guy. Your body's just not going to be the same no matter what, you go through. And you look at both guys, like you said earlier, Crawford came back from, you know what I'm saying, the surgery from, getting shot in the head and
Yeah.
came back and did what he's supposed to do. Spence comes back from a car wreck like that and still able to, win and do fight. So both of these guys had came from tragic, very,
Right.
very tragic aspects and still was able to go out there and do what they do best and continue to win, you know. But I do kind of, I don't want to make that car accident a excuse,
Right.
but it does bring up the question. It really, really
Yeah.
does bring up the
That,
question.
I mean, I think you have to question it. Even if we don't know, it's like it's human nature. We got to start questioning all aspects. And I
Yeah,
put this up because Alberto, you're right. The Eagles fight, Spence looked a little wobbly early on in that fight and then came back and dominated. And that's what I thought was going to happen in this past fight. Once he got, when he got put down early, I said Spence bounces back from a punch. He's going to really turn it on now. He never could flip that switch on this one.
no, he good. He good. He could. Um, God, dog. God, for real. Um, that shit was crazy, bro. Just watching it like firsthand. That was really crazy. Big game, seriously. Um, I would say this: Spence has just not fought a guy of that caliber. He hasn't fought.
Oh, oh,
You
easy.
know,
Yeah,
he hasn't fought a guy of that caliber, and it
right.
showed. It
Yeah.
just completely showed. Um, I think Spence has been able, and one thing I did notice, Spence is a guy. I think he does need to work a lot more defensive wise.
Yes. Yes.
Um, from what I was seeing, and just even looking at his past fights, not even just Ugas, but going back to Danny Garcia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even with the Sean Porter, Spence is a guy that likes to take punishment, but also likes to deal the punishment at the same
Mm-hmm.
time. The sport of boxing is known for hitting and not getting hit. You're not
Right.
supposed to stand there and just be a punching bag and see who's gonna, who's gonna last the longest. Um,
Especially with somebody that got some pepper behind that
man,
punch.
for real.
Yeah, you're
So
right, man.
Spence, in my opinion, does need to work on being more savvy when it comes to defense, learning how to move a little bit more to try to avoid those punches.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but again, I'm not negating anything. To me, both of those guys are champions. Both of them will be champions. I don't want to hear no slander on my show today because they getting all the kudos from me. Square biz,
Yeah.
because could none of us go
No.
out there and do what they did, bro?
Oh, no, 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 no. Exactly. And that's the thing. When and Reed, I've said this before when it comes down to all sports, it's easy for someone who's never done it to sit back,
And
cast
criticize them.
judgment, and
Yep,
have an opinion, right?
yep,
So that's just like in football. When you tell me the quarterback is trash, I was like, you get out there and throw the ball while somebody rushing you. And make a perfect throw and throw a ball to a spot, hoping your receiver run the route right because if you go anything past 3 seconds, the D lineman is all on you. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? It's
yeah,
it's like basketball. You go out there shoot that ball with somebody almost 7 foot with the wingspan, taller than 7 foot, running at you full speed, closing out to block a shot, and then talk about how trash somebody is. It's easy when you're a spectator watching the sport from the sideline to
yeah,
have
it
an
is.
opinion.
Yeah,
You
it
know what I'm
is.
saying? And I catch myself all the time. I have an opinion, and then we have opinion of players of each other when we play the game. But at the end of the day, there's still a respect knowing we know what that work is for that person to get there. They miss sometimes, but they don't miss often. And the same thing with dude, boxing and MMA, you're a different you's a different
You a
mofo
different
to
breed, bro.
go in there and know
Yes,
that you about to get punched in the face
you a different
and
breed, bro.
and you just got to be smart enough to counter it, block it, and hopefully your punches are stronger than other person's punches, and you come out victorious. That's some real gladiator shit, and that's not hard. I mean, that's not easy to do.
Don't get me wrong. I think anybody that is able to play professional sports, even including you, Big Game, I think that you guys are amazing athletes from the things that you guys have, had to go through as far as the training, as far as the workouts, learning. every technical aspect of it, and even just going out there to memorize, to execute. I mean, even you've even told me, what the play calls be in the huddle. There's no way that I would, you know, be able to understand pro right left 36 fold over the back XYZ. Like, it takes a lot, But when you're
Yeah.
talking about those gladiator sports like that, the MMA, the boxing, where you can legally beat somebody's ass, you can legally do that. You bad, bro. You bad. Like you said, it takes a different breed.
Oh, come here. Watch out.
For real.
Ow.
For real, bro.
Boy.
It takes a different breed, bro. It takes a different breed.
Reed, I remember talking. I remember when I was little, man. We were talking smack. Me and my cousin were talking smack and going at it. And my grandfather, my uncle said, "All right, we're gonna settle this." They got some boxing gloves. Put some gloves on us. And I'm like, man, this ain't nothing. This ain't gonna hurt. And my cousin squared up, pulled back, and popped me in my damn face. I knew then I was gonna have to win fights and hit people first. And two, I was never gonna be a boxer because that shit was serious and different. So,
the sound effects are crazy. The game with the sound effect. No, for real.
So yeah, like I said, that's why I tip my hat, man, to anybody that steps up to that ring. And then sometimes I've seen guys fight, and even so one of my boys, man, decided he was gonna go do mixed martial arts after the NFL. And he ended up being on Ultimate Fighter. You know what I'm saying? He got into the UFC house, the whole nine, and he was doing pretty good. One match exposed him and ended his MMA career. That motherfucker had a glass chin like no other. Wow. And when he got caught, he went to sleep. And everybody else realized, okay, he can dish it, but all you gotta do is catch him on that chin, and he gonna go down. Next thing you know, he ended up fizzling out, never got a chance, got a big break in the UFC. He did some other stuff for a while. Great dude, strong dude, was a good fighter up until he got exposed. And we laughed for a while, but we also knew that this wasn't a person to laugh at because he motherfucker bench press almost as much as Larry Allen. So you knew how strong he was, right?
Yeah.
But you get exposed, and that's like he said, he's like, man, I always respected the sport, but I respect it even more after going through it and knowing how hard it is to do it.
These guys constantly get hit in the face, bro, and like somehow they're still able to maintain. Like, that's crazy when you really break it down what boxers and MMA fighters go through. I mean, you can have a strong chin or you can have a glass chin.
Yeah,
I remember that fight between Usman and Masvidal. As soon as that started.
Oh, wait, yes, I did. Yes,
Usman hit him with a quick right punch at the beginning of the fight, and Masvidal went down.
Right.
One of the quickest knockouts I've ever seen. So that's what I'm saying. Like, just in a matter of moments, it can happen. That's what we always say with boxing. All it takes is just one punch.
One punch can change the whole fight. Yeah.
Change the whole fight.
Yes, sir.
One more observation that I did want to make, and for everybody that's down in Spence, and I'm giving Spence, like I said, bro, you're still a champ in my book. I did love the fact that after the fight, even though they gave Crawford that white undisputed belt, Crawford still gave Spence his belts back.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, that's big up, big up.
That's big ups. He's bro, because you're still a champ, bro. You're still a champ, and he gave So even though they're not, he's not the champion, they're still, his belts.
And Crawford know he about to get some. Those unification. What's the day? I don't even know the word I'm looking for.
Unification.
WBC, unification, but I'm in those federations, those boxing federations, gonna send him a new belt anyway.
Oh yeah. Facts.
Yeah, for sure.
But I want to mention this, people. Spence's will to win. Yes, it was very, very classy move by Crawford. But Spence's will to win in this fight. I seen the guy got knocked down 3 times, and we was all looking at it like, damn, he keeps getting up. And
Right.
you know, at some point in time, watching boxing matches, you're like, damn, come on, bro. Like sometimes you just gotta know when enough is enough. Sometimes you just gotta know when enough is enough. But you can see the true testament of Warrior and Spence.
A straight competitor, dog. That's I mean,
Yeah.
that's the Warriors mentality, and that's how you know he is cut out for the ring. He's
Yes.
cut out for the ring.
Yes.
It was no accident that he was undefeated. He proved that in previous fights, but you're right. It was like and I the one before the final when I was like, hey y'all, it might be time. I was like, cause he out there on hope prayers and just and a couple other punches in between it. Reed, it's just like somebody put an invisible kickstand on his ass because he was about to go down, all of a sudden just stop. Like he put the leg back and catch himself, but you could still tell he wasn't really there. And I was like, man, this is gonna get ugly. And my wife was like, why did the referee stop it? He was okay. I was like, you want that man to eat out of a straw for the rest of his life. I said he was
Man.
not okay. The referee stopped the fight when he was supposed to. It was time.
And at some point in time, you gotta save the person from themselves.
Yes.
You gotta save the boxer from themselves. No matter how much they want to keep on going, how much they want to hang, hang themselves, hang their trophy up and keep on going.
Right.
At some point in time, as a ref, you have to go out there and you need to protect that fighter. And much ups to the ref. The ref did exactly what
He did a
needed to be
great
done.
job of
He
controlling
did a
that
great
fight.
job. Completely great job. Let me see. Reed, what is your thoughts on Stephen A. Smith's comments about Spencer? Oh, yes, sir. Look,
Did you see that this morning? Did you see those?
I saw that.
Okay.
I saw that. Stephen A. Smith saying that Spence should consider retiring. That was actually a comment that I was gonna make on my post fight observation, but I'm gonna go ahead
Okay.
and say it. Look, I don't think number one, I don't think Spence retires. I
No,
don't
he's
see
not gonna
I don't
retire.
see I don't see any reason for him retiring. Um Again, this is his first loss. For him to retire after his first loss, unless it's just detrimental damage to the point to where he can't come back, after doctors analyze him and stuff like that, then that's understandable. But I have not seen boxers that lose their first match and then just call it
And just
quits.
say, I'm done. Now, Reed, do you think that he should take a certain amount of time off? Because I've heard they said that today on ESPN and a couple other stations talking about what other experts have said about the fight and said there's no way that a rematch should be scheduled for December. If you're Errol Spence and his camp, you cannot take another fight that quick. That's what was said this morning. And I was the thought of the car wreck, the thought of the face, and everything else. It really made me question when would be a good time for Errol Spence Jr. to get back in the ring again.
Spence did mention that he wanted the rematch, hopefully in December. But from what I'm seeing, they're saying that I think is it Ennis. Ennis is supposed to be like the next mandatory up for
I guess so,
Crawford,
but they have a rematch clause in the contract.
but they do have their rematch
But
clause.
if he is, I don't know. I know the different federations have different rules sometimes. Like, well, if you lose and you win, you got to come in.
Uh, Let me see. There's so much lure other than Crawford fight. He still got other thing personally a change in the corner man
I think
because they
that too.
didn't do him no justice in the fight with. No, no. Him and Derek James, they've worked. Look, they've won what was it? What was his record before? Like
Was it
29? Like 29 and
27? I think 27,
27 and
29. Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
worked with Derek James his whole career. I don't think a change in the corner man is
But
needed.
Reed, let me ask you this. Is it easy to be that corner man to look like you know what you're doing when you win in every goddamn fight? And now when the going gets tough, I didn't hear a whole lot of shit that helped Spence change. Now, and I don't know if he could have changed what Bud Crawford was doing to him either. I don't know if it could have changed. But it's easy to seem like you the right person in charge when you win in every fight. Spence hasn't had a whole lot of difficult fights, right?
Not necessarily, but he's been challenged.
Okay,
He
you're
has
right.
been
Okay,
challenged.
I see what you're saying.
You know, Derrick James is a damn good trainer. Damn good trainer.
Okay,
I can understand for somebody like Anthony Joshua,
okay.
who's lost his last couple of fights and whatnot, lost his, heavyweight championships and stuff like that. His corner man wasn't helping him necessarily, you know, in that regard. So then he feels the necessary need to change. But for me, losing one fight, I'm not going to lose my faith in my trainer when I've gotten this far. He's gotten me all the way to
I
almost being
got you.
that close from undisputed.
I
I
think
think what the
everybody's got
thing
to go
is,
in and evaluate what they did, how they approached the fight, and what changes they can make to get better. And does he owe it to his corner to prove that they can get better too? Yeah. I mean, to me, it just honestly, you're right. All the previous fights, you're right. But in that fight, it looked like they had nothing to give him and tell him what to do to help adjust the strategy of what they had going in. Now I know Crawford had a lot to do with that and dictated a lot of that, but that's just how I seen from me. Like I said, that's the outside looking in, Reed.
the big game. That's the nature of boxing. That's the nature
Okay.
of boxing.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a chess match, bro. It's supposed to be that chess match.
Yeah, that mean, but your
Both
corner
of them
can't be
came
playing
in.
checkers.
Both of them came in with a game plan. But obviously, one game plan didn't work as well as the other one.
Right.
Spence's game plan in there was to utilize the jab, and then what he wanted to do was do like all his other fights, walk him down, use the jab, you know what I'm saying, come in with the body shots, start, putting that work on. But Crawford's corner had that negated.
But Reed,
They
even
had it negated.
I'm not a boxer, but even I know you don't stand midline and go right down the middle. Errol Spence was going right down the middle of Bud Crawford and catching them things 1, 2, 3. He was giving it the 2-piece in the biscuit every time. You got to work angles and use the ring and use your lens. And he never adjusted to do that at all.
So okay, so in that retrospect, are you blaming the corner or are you blaming the boxer? Because
I don't
even
know.
look at
Okay.
look at this. Even look at this. Big game. Y'all are playing you in the NFL, you playing your sports, plenty of games
Uh-huh.
where y'all go over your defensive game plan of what you're gonna
Right.
do with these guys.
Uh-huh.
Now, y'all go out there and y'all are supposed to execute from what y'all doing in practice. It was supposed to work. But for some reason, what y'all are doing out there on the field, it's not executing. Y'all are not executing it. So in that retrospect, the coach can maybe, find something that can help. But then at the same time, it takes the players to go out there and do what they need to do.
You're
Everybody
right.
taking care of their necessary assignments for it to work.
So, Reed, if we work on something all week and we go in the game and it's not working, it doesn't mean that we're not trying to execute that plan as players. That means that the plan was given to us was the wrong plan. Now, that's when you always hear in the game of football say halftime adjustments. Your better coordinators will make those adjustments so when you come out, you can change up something and slow that game down or get back to doing what you do best. I don't know who to blame it on. All I know is I didn't see the adjustments or changes. And if the corner was telling him to do something different and he was just already out of it and couldn't do anything different, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I think it's a mixture of both. Um, I even think that Derrick James probably did have an adjustment plan, but I just think Spence couldn't execute it. I
Mm.
don't think Crawford allowed him to do that. You see what I'm saying? Crawford just didn't allow him to execute. Okay, you're gonna do this. All right, now I'm accounting with this. But again, like I was saying, his speed negated everything. Every time
Yeah.
that Spence tried to do something and maybe try to make an adjustment right in the middle of it, he was getting caught. Reed, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. How you adjust and adapt to a new plan is key. I agree with Big Game Corner did him no favors. I feel you. I feel you. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I feel you. Um,
And much
I
respect.
think
Like I said, we all got that opinion, man. That's just like I said, that's my opinion on the outside looking in. I don't know what was said. I wasn't there. when he was mic'd up, he was saying the right things early, but at the same time, also said Errol Spence didn't look like he was even ready to fight in his face. So if you already out of it from something happening, all he heard was a Charlie Brown teacher in a corner.
Yeah, yeah,
So I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
I think look, I think Spence won that first round.
You
Then
do?
they had a game plan. I think
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think
okay,
Spence
yeah, you
Spence
you
came
can give
out
me that.
and he won that very first round. I think it was once he got knocked down in the second. That's when he was like, okay, something has to change. That might have been the time where he was just like, God, dog, like he actually knocked me down. Like,
Right.
okay, he got some hands on him. And I think at that moment in time, that's when the doubt started seeking in. Maybe he didn't hear the adjustments that Derrick James was making.
Okay.
Maybe he didn't hear it. Of course, we were not there. We don't know. Shit, I'm not Earl Spence. You're not Earl Spence. You know,
Mm,
we don't know what he was feeling at that point in time. But
Are you really playing games on your phone right now? Yeah.
my
yes, I'm
bad.
playing games on my phone. Uh, I just think that ultimately something maybe probably just wasn't there for both of them. And again, it had to be executed. If I think if Spence might have had something that he could listen to that he felt probably could have worked, he might have
Yeah.
been able to put it in. Um, and it's not like Derrick James wasn't sitting there watching the whole thing. I believe that he honestly had something for Spence to do. Say, hey man, you need to do this, bam, bam, bam,
And it
bam,
just
bam.
and it just wasn't executed, you think?
I just think Spence wasn't able to execute. You know, I think him getting knocked down kind of made him like, shit, dude. Like, you know,
Yeah.
okay, if I do this, okay, I'm gonna try. But it seemed like after he got knocked down, he got a little bit more timid. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more timid, so to speak. Because
Yeah. And that,
if
and
I'm
that can
sitting there
happen.
throwing a punch, if I'm sitting there throwing punches all day and I keep getting hit, no matter what my corner is saying, and I gotta, I'm getting lit up this
Yeah.
round. I just
Yeah.
got knocked down the next round. Okay. So I'm going back to the corner. He's telling me this, hey man, you need to okay. I'm trying to go out there and do it, but you see what the fuck is happening, bro. Like, okay, you gonna come out to the next round. You all right? Okay.
Right.
Oh, you still getting lit up.
Hey,
You
damn it, I'm
between the,
trying.
I'm trying, but some shit just ain't working. So I
Yeah, I
don't think
feel
that
you on
they
that.
necessarily and I'll say this. Honestly, I think Spence and Derrick James, I think they just didn't really compensate for how quick Crawford was.
Mm,
I don't think, you know what I'm saying? I don't think that they wasn't necessarily ready for that and for that count that he had. You know, him hitting in between punches, him doing all that stuff. I just don't feel like that they were equipped or that they necessarily had that game plan strategy in mind to be able to deal with that. And so you see the results of it. You see the
yeah,
result.
I feel you.
You know, it's been boxers that have caught Terrence Crawford. They have, you know.
Yeah.
Sugar Shane Mosley, he caught. No, 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 no. I'm thinking about Mayweather. Mayweather, he caught Mayweather. No, yeah. I'm trying to think. One of those boxers that did. But he's been tagged before. He's been tagged
Right.
before. You
Right.
know, um, I just feel like ultimately their game plan that they had set up, they didn't have nothing as far as adjusting in the right context to help Spence keep going along with that fight. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
So again, still big ups to both fighters because, like I said, his will to win was just ridiculous. You know, for anybody to get knocked down like that, man, and keep on coming and keep on coming, you know, he's got nothing but heart. Because a lot of other people would have stayed down. A lot of people wouldn't have got back up.
True.
A lot of
True.
people wouldn't even kept going, you know. But
Yeah.
he had the pride of the city of Dallas, you know, pride of his family, you know, and he fought like a champion. That's what
Yeah, he
champions
did.
do.
He
That's
did.
what
You're right.
champions do. You know, one thing about this fight, and why I say you got to give kudos to these guys, because not only did they give everybody what they wanted, to see these two fight. But the game, how often does two undefeated fighters come up to each other and be like, "This is the fight that they want. Let's give the people what they want. Let's see who's the best.
You're right. You're right, man. And they
Let's
both,
both put our zeros up, and just see who's the best, bro."
yeah, yeah. Let's not run from it. Let's see what's gonna happen. They did that, and I take nothing away from either fighter. Like I said, surprise. I give Crawford a little bit more respect now. Not that I didn't respect him before, but he really convinced me even more after this fight. Is all I mean. And still, like I said, Errol Spence. That's what if 29-1. That's one loss. He still got a lot of boxing ahead of him. Just make sure you're all the way right before you step into the ring again. That's the only thing I want, because I don't want lingering effects later on in life. We'll be like, boy, that Errol Spence was bad, but he got back in that ring early. He just was never right again. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to see that man's health jeopardized because he's trying to prove a point. You in the sport that you're in, you have the record that you have. We know that you can fight. Make sure you're right before you get back in the ring again.
I get you, and even to backdoor on that, maybe December is, and I know he said he wanted to do the fight again this year. He wanted to do the fight in the rematch in December, which kind of goes into my post-fight thoughts. Is that number one, that Spence does deserve a rematch? He does deserve the rematch.
Yeah, you two champions, 0 losses, like you said going in. Even if Spence would have won, Crawford would have deserved the rematch.
Yeah.
A rematch is warranted. You're right.
But I'm tending to lean more and agree with you. I think December may be a little too quick for that to happen.
Right.
I mean, shit, it's this just happened in July, and December is what August, September, October, November. You talking about 5 months?
Right, dog. That's too quick, bro.
It would have to happen, to me, I think, sufficiently. It would need to happen next year, April, maybe May.
Yeah, I would say March at the earliest.
March at the earliest. March at the earliest. But Spence needs to be able to take some time.
Yep.
Heal up. Really come up with a game plan.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really study that field. See where he went wrong. See where he had some, where he was able to have some good moments.
Yeah.
But they really need to step back. I think again, December may be a little too soon. Really too soon.
That's too quick, bro.
If it happens in December, we're probably going to see the same thing, and it might actually be even worse this time. And I hate to say that. But then I want to go back to what your man was saying about the Stephen A. comments. Stephen A. is an analyst, and he can say whatever he wants. But you don't see Stephen A. Even when he criticizes people, basketball, football. I've never seen Stephen A. play a down. I've never seen him shoot a rock. I've never seen him get in the ring and do everything like that. But he's entitled to his own opinion, just like everybody else. But for him to say that Spence needs to retire, that's ridiculous. In my book, that's straight ridiculous. I'm not gonna retire off of one loss. It's gonna make me think and just be like, hey man, look, it's somebody out there that can always pull your card in boxing. That's just the nature of the business.
It happens to everybody. Because nobody thought, you think about the greats. Everyone, Mike Tyson, never thought that he would have went down the way that he did, right?
No.
It happens to everybody.
How many of the greats that we talk about in boxing, how many of them were just completely undefeated?
Shit.
I'll wait.
I can't even give you no list, dog. Because even to see how my man Ali had to handle some things, how he went down. Right? Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, Roberto Duran.
We're calling these guys all-time greats, but they had losses, bro.
How many losses did Chavez have?
I have to look that up.
I say I mother them. I ain't turn my other monitor on.
Julio Cesar?
Yeah, Julio Cesar Chavez. But yeah, it even Floyd got one early, right? Didn't he? Or was he Floyd got a loss too, didn't he? Or no contest,
No,
something.
no,
No?
no, no,
Okay.
no, 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 no. He didn't lose. But my thing, and I made this point with somebody. I do like Floyd. I do like Floyd. But Floyd took a completely different route, in my opinion. And when I say that, he did what he had to do to preserve that O, to preserve that
Mm,
zero. You see what I'm saying?
got you.
So what Floyd did was pick and choose which guys that he was going to fight. And I feel like he picked everybody that he picked, he knew that he could beat.
And do you also feel? I've heard people say Floyd fought the great fighters at the end of their peak, where they're already starting to go down.
That too. That
And
too.
even Canelo
That too.
Alvarez says right now, he said, if I fought Floyd Mayweather right now, I'd beat his ass.
He fought a young Canelo,
Yeah,
a very young Canelo. He fought a old, over the peak Manny Pacquiao.
yeah. Manny was old when they fought, though. You
And
right.
I'm not taking anything away from him because I love Floyd. I've always said, man, I love Floyd. But when you look at the body of work and how he did it, you know, I believe he knew it was some guys out there that could whoop him, that could take him. But he
Yeah.
did what he had to do to preserve that. Oh, you know, and that's why he's the only boxer that I know so far that had a zero. That
Oh,
retired without a loss. Um,
yeah.
Julio Cesar Chavez, 115 fights, 107 wins, 86 by knockout, but 6 losses and 2 draws.
6. Yeah.
But still
All of them.
considered one of the greats. That's what
Hey,
I'm saying. That's what I'm
100
saying.
some fights, dog. That is crazy. That was all
Fucking
those
crazy.
Friday night fights in Mexico. I ain't trying
Yeah,
to
man.
be
Yeah, yeah,
fighting at the
yeah,
chicken coop.
yeah, yeah. Another post-fight thought. Another post-fight thought I got, man. Crawford is clearly the best pound-for-pound boxer. Clearly,
Better than
he has
Tank Davis?
better than Tank Davis.
Wow. Okay.
Better than Tank Davis.
Better than Canelo?
Better than Canelo.
Wow. Hard to take that away from him right now. I just, had to ask, man.
I mean, clearly. He's undisputed, bro. He's undisputed, and he's
Yeah.
been undisputed in 2 weight classes, if I'm not
Hey,
mistaken.
damn.
You know,
Yeah.
like clearly, he's the best pound-for-pound boxer out there right now.
Right.
I mean, seriously, do you see anybody that could beat him?
I don't even know who else is left in that welterweight class that to put him up against.
I don't see it, man. And I think we
Yeah.
could have honestly said this. I mean, I think we could say this about Crawford because of how he displayed and what he did.
Right.
And we could say that if even if Spence won, we could have said that Spence is clearly the best pound for pound. But then people would have it in the back of their minds that, yes, he's best pound for pound, but Spence can get hit.
Right. Right.
Spence has some holes. There's some Swiss cheese in that defense.
Yeah.
You know. But I love Spence, man. And that whole man, Spence, if you hear this, man, look, dude, I love you. I appreciate everything you did, bro. Crawford, I love you. Appreciate everything you did. You guys are fucking warriors, man. You guys are warriors. I could not do one round compared to you guys doing 12, 13, however many.
Straight warriors, baby.
Straight warriors, man. Straight warriors.
Yes, sir.
Seriously.
Yes, sir.
And then, like I said earlier, man, I don't think Spence will retire. I don't think this is going to be the end of him.
Nor
I really
should he,
think
though. I don't think he should
he
retire,
shouldn't.
man.
He
Unless there
shouldn't.
was something wrong, like really wrong, and which I don't think it is. No, it's not time to retire yet.
No. I do want to see him bounce back. I don't know who he fights, but I would like to see him bounce back. If the rematch does happen, I think people will be tuned in. Definitely, I know I will be tuned in. But I think everybody will be on the edge to see if Spence has a different game plan to come in.
Right.
But then, of course, I'm sure that a lot of people feel that the same outcome will happen. I mean, excuse me. Clearly, y'all, it's a lot of factors that went into that fight.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing it from boxers, and that Spence just didn't look right. I'm hearing it from people on YouTube, fans of all sorts. Um, Spence just wasn't himself. Spence didn't look right. Um, I mean, it could be a million excuses, but one thing I like, Spence didn't even come out with an excuse. Spence just say, "Yo, he was clearly the better guy. He was the better boxer this night. It is what it is."
But you would expect that. I mean, just like he came out every round and fought, Spence wasn't about to make an excuse. And he was just, he tipped his hat to the better fighter. And like I said, you gotta have a lot of respect for how he handled it and even how Crawford handled giving him his belt back and telling him that, you brought the best out of me because I knew I had to be great to beat you.
Facts. Facts. You know what I'm saying? This is why we love the sport of boxing.
Yes.
I think this fight was probably the most anticipated fight that we've had all year. I think this was the fight that everybody wanted to see. I mean, that arena was freaking sold out. Nobody wanted to miss this.
Man, I knew people that flew in from all over the place to go see that fight.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
I know those tickets was just amazingly high.
Man, they said the nosebleeds was high as giraffe booty.
See. But that's what it's all about, bro. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Yes,
so again, I don't take anything away from these guys. Again, y'all are not gonna hear any slander from me. Not on the Twitter, not on the TikTok, not on my IG. I'm not gonna slander none of these guys because again, I couldn't do half of the shit that they do. Not at all.
Not half of it.
Not even half, and not even probably a third of what these guys are able to do. From the eat right, from the staying healthy, from the workouts, from none of that stuff. So you have to give kudos to what these guys are. They're champions in their own right. They're warriors in their own right.
Yeah.
And you have to salute them, man, for doing what they did and for giving the people exactly what they wanted, which was a very compelling fight. Do we all wish that it was kind of different? Of course. Of course. Again, I didn't expect to see Spence get knocked out, bro. I didn't see it. I know when he got dropped that second round, my mouth dropped.
Hey man, I was like, uh-oh. I stood up.
Dropped.
And I was the only one really there that liked boxing. Like everybody was like it was watching the fight. They was like, what happened? I was like, uh-oh, this ain't good. Because even Crawford usually starts a little bit slower even. And to catch him in the second, I was like, about the fourth round, they're really gonna get going by then, and we're gonna see, who gonna lead and how the pace of the fight gonna go. And it happened about 2 rounds earlier than I thought it would, and I was like, uh-oh, this ain't good. Because Spencer's face, even after that, he really looked like, oh shit, I knew, but I didn't know.
Yeah,
I knew, but I didn't know. No.
Yeah. I'm finding out. Big
Right.
Game, put yourself in Spencer's shoes.
Okay.
You go out, you're a champion. You go out and have this fight. You lose the belts. Are you questioning yourself? Are you questioning your trainer?
I mean, I think in this situation, Reed, you have to question everything because everything that you've done up until this point has worked, and all of a sudden against this guy, it hasn't. You look like you never looked. You took your first beating, and it looked like the worst beating that a boxer could take, so to speak. I think you have to. I would be questioning what happened, what went wrong, and how do I fix it? And I think that's just natural reaction because even in a sport of like mine in football, if you go into a game, like you said, you prepare, you execute, you practice hard, you think you got everything under control going into a game, and you get hit with something totally different. And and especially if you lose, you come off the field like, yeah, you got to have a short memory, but you always go, damn, what happened? What could I have done different? what didn't we see on film that they executed in this game? That how do we miss it? I think it's a natural thing for an athlete to do that. So I think it's only going to be natural for Errol Spence to question everything that happened because this is his first time suffering a loss. That
makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. I think I would somewhat do the same. I don't think I would totally lose faith in my training or my trainer, so to speak.
right, and
I don't think one loss should make me completely give up on my
you're
training.
right. You're probably right on that. And they have a better relationship. They have a relationship. I don't have a relationship with his trainer, so it's easy for me to say, man, you need to fire your trainer. It's easy for me to say that, right? Just like I said, it's easy for me to say, like, man, he should have been running down the middle. He should have been moving, bobbing and weaving. I didn't get hit with none of them punches. I don't know what it was like to have my whole game plan change after I felt that power come from Crawford. So it's easy for me to say that. But you're right. His trainer deserves an opportunity because I know he's competitive too. So he wants to prove that he can have Spence ready for the rematch.
This is the caveat in that. At some point in time, even if they have this rematch, let's just say the same thing happens. Let's just say Spence loses again. The caveat that I put in it is that sometimes you just have to accept the fact that this guy is just better than you.
Damn. I mean, yeah, you do, but do you want to?
You just have to. No, you know your pride may come across. You know what I'm saying, but you have to respect the fact that damn, this boxer just may be better than me. At the same time,
Right.
I'm looking at my trainer. I'm like, look, you got me 29 wins. You got me 3 belts. So obviously, you know what the hell that you're doing. I think we just came up against a brick wall. We both wanted this fight. We came up against a brick wall, and they just had a better game plan for me.
Yeah.
Now, even though they beat me this first time, we go ahead and do a rematch. And if it happens again, okay. We just know that damn it, we can't beat Bud Crawford. Let's move up and let's see what else we can do. You know, I'm a person, a believer of giving people chances, especially if I have this good track record. Like I said, 29 wins.
You're not
29
throwing them
wins would be
29 away.
hard for me to just. I'm not throwing that shit away, bro. I'm not
I
throwing that away.
respect that. I respect that.
You know, you helped me get 3 freaking championships. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So obviously, what you're saying has got some validity in it. Plus, he just won. He just won what a trainer of the year, like I want to say maybe a couple years ago.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah. You know, so he's still legit. We just sometimes the opposition is just better. Look at all of those times that Peyton Manning went up against Tom Brady and couldn't win.
True. Very true.
You know, so you just don't want to throw that stuff in the fold, man. Have you ever had has that ever happened with y'all? You know, something on your team, man, that you just gotta you gotta just a defense coordinator or something just up against a brick wall, like damn it, we just can't. He just
Yeah, I
can't
mean,
get this game
you
plan right again.
go to some games, especially when in your division, you already knew those teams were going to be tough, and you know you had to face them twice, and you knew that damn coordinator had something that he was going to pull out that was going to work, and you didn't like it, you had to figure it out, and you know you move on with it. I mean, your point is very valid, Reed. Like I said, I'm not arguing that point at all. You can't throw away the 29 fights of what you've done for me so far, and I give you that. I do give you that. But he walked up in that goddamn ring, and all I heard was,
Oh,
somebody get Big X a shirt. He should have never had that belly out. That stomach got Spence beat. Let me stop.
Oh man.
I'm big.
But you might be right still, though. I mean, still.
He lost the intro and the fight. He didn't even win. He didn't even win the pre-fight walk to the ring, dog.
Damn. It's sad. But it is what it is, y'all. It is what it is. MCSP Radio over the BGSC Network. Again, man, Terrence Crawford, congratulations, man. Earl Spence, you still get congratulations from me. Proud of you guys for doing what you guys did. Love everything that you guys do, man, and keep on. I'm sure Spence will bounce back. Keep your head up, bro. This ain't the end. So don't listen to Stephen A. You know, he got an opinion about every damn thing. He thinks he knows everything. I would tell him that in his face if he ever sat down and have a conversation. I'm not scared of Stephen A. I'm not.
Nor should you be. I mean, he human like everybody else, man.
Yeah.
Ain't no need
Yeah.
to scare nobody. It
Yeah.
is what it is, dog.
Yeah, but you know how some guys, when they got a certain level of success, they think they shit don't stink. You know, and he does
Yeah,
walk
but
around.
he only gonna pull that shit so far in so many places. He not doing that shit with everybody, dog. Come on, man. Stephen A. Smith is opinionated. He's not a tough guy.
Very much so. Very much
That's-
so.
You know.
Very much so. I'm surprised somebody ain't slapped him upside the head yet. But I feel like it may be coming. It may be coming. I'm not wishing that upon nobody, but goddamn, bro, sometimes you just gotta watch the things.
Stephen A. UCA Reed, you might hear.
Push your hairline back, bro. Push that hairline back even more.
Shit.
You know, it is what it is. Y'all know what it is, man. Of course, before I get done with every show, man, I always tell you people, man, seek help, man, for your mental health. If you got anything that's going on, please do, because mental health is an issue. This stuff is really real. You know, even something to this magnitude of what Spencer's went through, man, mental health can creep in. You know, he can start doubting himself. You know, I'm not praying, not wishing that on him or anything like that. But, you know, when people do suffer losses, you know, and they let it dwell on them, things can happen. So, just understand, man, if you guys ever need help, please seek help. I always have the hotline there. You guys can always call. Your stuff is real. Talk to somebody, man. You know, it's cool to talk to family. It's cool to talk to friends, but it's also cool to talk to somebody that don't know you. They can give you their honest opinions from the outside looking in. And definitely help you out, you know, through the situations and stuff like that. So
they're not gonna judge you.
I'm not gonna judge you at all, man. You know, I tend to feel like, you know, your friends and family, they're gonna tell you what you want to hear. And sometimes you need an opinion from somebody that can tell you what you need to hear.
Amen. Amen.
You know what I'm saying? What you need to hear. So most definitely, man, for myself, for MCXP Radio, for my man Big Game, man. Look, the Chop Shop is coming back, I'm sure.
Yeah, the goal is next week. The schedule gonna change up just a little bit this fall because my schedule is gonna be crazy. It's dictated a little bit off of my son making varsity football this year. So
congratulations. All right.
It's reworked some things on what my week gonna look like. But yeah, we're gonna get it all ironed out, and hopefully within the next week or the following week we can get back started on it.
No doubt, man. Well, for myself, for the BGSC Network, for MCXP Radio, for all the shows that are on BGSC Network, man, Blur the Two Birds, One Show, all of these guys, man, we are doing some big things, and we appreciate everybody that's been tuning in, joining in the network. Continue to like, subscribe, hit the bell, keep on going, because we're going to take it. We about to blow up. Hey, y'all know what it is, man. But again, for myself and for everybody else, man, you guys take it easy. I will holler at y'all next Monday for me and Big Game, man. One love.
Peace.
Dance on the beach or something, we can slide all night. Smoke a little weed or something, getting high all night. Got my brown on ice, and you looking right. Then that's